Hey, Ambitious Dentist, welcome to Start Your Dental Practice, the show for existing and aspiring dentists to take your dental practice to the highest possible level. I'm your host, Jonathan Van Horn, CPA and ABV, founder of DentistMetrics.com. In every episode, we aim to demystify the how to start a dental practice problem by bringing on world-class dentists, influencers, and consultants in the dental industry to pick their brain about how to get past the barriers involved from going from no practice to being a practice owner to owning your own successful dental practice. Hey guys, in this week's podcast, we are going to talk about masterminds. As you may have heard in the last couple of episodes, we are launching the Ambitious Dentist Mastermind through the Start Your Dental Practice podcast. Something I'm super excited about. I know it's going to help a lot of dentists build better businesses and be able to work through a lot of the barriers that they may face in their practices, which is exactly what I built this podcast for. I was literally talking to consultants and to dentists every day of the week and said, hey, I need to be recording this because there's someone out there that is going to get some value out of this. There's someone out there that is going to learn from this. And so I need to make this available to everyone. So we have created the Ambitious Dentist Mastermind to mirror that as well. So today's episode is going to be talking to you about what exactly a mastermind is, who would be a good fit for masterminds, and some of the things that you will get out of being in a mastermind. So that's what today's episode is going to be about, all about masterminds. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, guys, so what is a mastermind? So to me, a mastermind is just a group of individuals that help each other get past barriers. Now, masterminds, if you don't know, they've been around for a really long time. A lot of people like to credit Napoleon Hill, who was a very influential business philosopher, business person who came up with a lot of ideas that help people get prosperity internally, I guess is a way of saying things. And he defined masterminds as the coordination of knowledge and effort of two or more people who work toward a definite purpose in the spirit of harmony. So basically what he was saying is that it's a group of people that have a concentrated singular goal together, and everybody works towards it in a certain way in the spirit of togetherness, not competitiveness. They're just doing it to propel them all of themselves further. But one of the really cool stories about masterminds that I read about was that Ben Franklin actually had a mastermind back in 1726 called Junto. And so if you know anything about Ben Franklin, he was like an obsessive worker. He was this brilliant person of political, scientific, all these different natures. And Ben Franklin had a mastermind group, and they met every single Friday night to debate politics, morals, philosophy, business, goals, everything. And in that mastermind, back in 1726, every mastermind had the same questions, at least two questions every week. One of those questions to that group was, who is thriving and why? And then, how might they be emulated? So the purpose of that mastermind was to have everybody come together. Ben Franklin, one of the people that probably knew more than anybody else in the room, wherever he went, still had a mastermind where he wanted to learn from other people, have different perspectives, and be able to learn what is working and why. And so that was what the group was created around, and that was 300 years ago, if my math serves me right. It has failed me in the past podcast, so if I am wrong on that, someone ding me some CPA cred. So that means that masterminds really are a way for people to learn from other people sitting in similar positions as themselves, and for everyone to be able to go towards a singular goal, a singular focus. And the singular focus for the Ambitious Dentist Mastermind is that it is to help dental practice owners run better dental businesses. So here are a couple of the goals for the Ambitious Dental Mastermind. So it can get kind of lonely being a business owner. It's something that a lot of people don't talk about. For example, whenever I was starting my business, I actually reached out to a business coach to help me run my business. Had nothing to do with like how to do accounting or how to do coaching or how to do consulting or all these other things. It was strictly someone for me to be able to talk to about the ideas I had, to be able to get some feedback, to be able to have some support, for them to help me focus on what was important, what wasn't important. It also would, allowed me to have some better decision making because this person had been a successful business owner in a few variety of different industries, and just by them giving me some perspective, it really helped me out. So the number one goal for the Ambitious Dentist Mastermind is to help each individual that is in the mastermind group have that feedback, have that support, have that focus, clarity, allow them to have the better decision making, allow them to be able to have some creativity, help them come up with the new business ideas, help them with brainstorming anything that is going on in their dental practice that they may be having issues with. Because you're going to be able to come up with these things. You're going to be able to talk about what's going on in your head and get feedback from people that are in the exact same situation as you. Maybe they've already seen what you've came across. Maybe they haven't, but they couldn't give you perspective. Remember back to the who is thriving and why? Maybe that question is going to jog your memory of or spark some creativity of, hey, Dr. Smith in Las Vegas did that, and it worked really well for, say, running a gambling promotion of some sort. I don't know. Maybe it's a card night at the dental practice. Maybe you're in somewhere like, I don't know, Idaho, and you run some type of a potato festival. I don't, I didn't think through those examples very well, but that serves its purpose. It's going to give you some ideas of what is working in other places, and you can internalize those. It's not about copying; it's about emulating, which goes back to the whole saying of you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. Because you're going to be emulating those people that are in the group with you. The Ambitious Dentist Mastermind is giving you those 5 people that are going to be raising your personal average. So that's the first goal of the Ambitious Dentist Mastermind, to give you an outlet to be able to go and find this feedback. Now, it is not just for that singular outlet. A big problem in today's online environment is that if you want this type of feedback, you can go get it right now. You could go to a forum or to a Facebook group or to a number of different areas, and you could post what you're thinking about or what issues you're facing right now. The problem is that feedback is very, very singular. So it works like this. You have a problem in your head that you're trying to get past, and you try and type it out into a way that can be understood by as many people as possible, so they can give you typically pretty generic feedback, and so that you can then try and implement that. The problem is that it is whenever you're typing out your initial problem is that it gets diluted. You try and simplify it. There's a lot of backstory typically to what's going on. If you make it too long, you know that people aren't going to read it, and sometimes you just don't know if you should be asking that question in the first place because you don't want to look like you don't want to look like you're unprepared. You don't want to look like you don't have any answers. So this is an actual outlet to where you can actually have a conversation about the things that are going on, not just a singular. I'm going to write a little post somewhere on the internet where someone might be able to help me. The secondary problem to going on the internet and just posting something is that the answers that you get may be a generic answer to a broad base. And so you might be, let's say that you went and you searched for the answer because you were scared to be able to write something, to put a question out there. And you go and you look at something and you have some type of response that you want from that. You want to, do a follow-up, but the person who originally posted that answer is long gone. And so you don't have any way to be able to have that conversation keep going. This conversation that you're going to be able to have in these mastermind groups are going to help you instantaneously to be able to say, I'm having this kind of problem. Someone else says, oh, well, have you tried doing this? Yeah, I tried doing that, but this is what happened, and I didn't feel like this worked out. And then someone else can say, well, did you try to do this whenever you're doing that? And all of a sudden, the gears start turning and you go, maybe I just didn't do it right. Maybe I did something else wrong, or vice versa. Someone else is having these problems and you had a similar problem, and you being able to ask them some follow-ups to how they approached it, maybe they led to success. Maybe theirs led to something working out. So again, this is the number one goal, is to provide this outlet for these dentists in this group and give you somewhere to go to be able to get the answers that you want, need, things that are going on in your head, get them out there and get some type of game plan going. So the second goal for the Ambitious Dentist Mastermind is to allow for accountability for the members. So accountability means that whenever you have some type of brainstorming session and you come up with an idea and say, hey, I'm going to try this, a lot of the times as a business owner, you allow little things to get in your way. How many times have you out there had an idea and then just said, this is a great idea, and then, the next day something came up, and then the next day something came up, and then the next day something came up. They call it life getting in the way. Well, the goal for this Ambitious Dentist Mastermind is for every member to be able to be accountable to the other members, that will allow you to get things done and actually perform these things that are going on in your head. Because guys, the more that you act, the more that things are going to happen in a positive light for you. So every single member of the Ambitious Dentist Mastermind is going to have an accountability partner. That means in this group of 6, you're going to have someone you're assigned to talk to them about how they're doing with the different goals they have in the practice that they're running. So it's going to be able to allow you to be as an accountability partner, and at the same time, you're going to be held accountable by somebody else. So it creates a very powerful way for you to be able to get things done whenever someone's going to ask you about it, and someone's going to be able to say, hey, you said you're going to do that, and I understand, the kid's soccer game got in the way. I understand that, work got in the way, but you had said that this is what your goal was, and we all know that if you're going to want to try and reach your goal, you've got to do some things differently. And this is what you thought you were going to try and do. So let's go ahead and try it. Let's get it to happen, and let's see what happens. And maybe you're going to be able to get to that goal faster by doing this. So that's the second goal for the mastermind group, is to allow for accountability for each and every single member of the mastermind. Because like I said, it's lonely being a business owner sometimes, and you're not ever held accountable. When you're at the top, no one's ever telling you, hey, you need to get that advertising campaign figured out, or maybe you should look at a new logo, or all these other things. So accountability is the second goal. The next goal is for clarity for each of the members. So a lot of people have problems trying to figure out exactly how to set a goal to move forward. The very first thing we're going to do in the mastermind is to set goals for everyone so that you can figure out where you're going, so that you know how to reach those goals. Everyone's going to know everybody else's goals, and so you're going to be able to see, how to map out those goals in a very specific manner, and it's going to be able to be real powerful because, again, you're going to be held accountable in reaching those goals, and so it's going to help you propel yourself forward and get things done. The last goal is for an innovation process for everybody. And that is that you're going to be able to have more ideas on how to better your practice, how to make more money, maybe work less, maybe work more, how to, run things smoother, or have lower overhead, whatever it is. It's going to allow for innovation because you're going to be able to have ideas that are sparked from other people's ideas and just foster a really, really good environment. We're also going to try and have some of the past interviewees of the Start Your Dental Practice podcast into the mastermind as special guests to have one-on-one Q&As with the mastermind group. Very powerful stuff. Okay, so we've talked about what a mastermind is, and we've talked about the goals for the Ambitious Dentist Mastermind group. First goal was to provide an outlet to be able to go to somewhere safe, have a lot of feedback from other people that are dental practice owners. The second goal is to allow for accountability for each of those people in the mastermind to be able to make sure that they can reach their goals. The third goal for the group is for clarity for each of the members to be able to know where it is that they're going to be going. And the last one is for it to spark innovation and imagination so that you can have more ideas, better ideas, and have faster validation and acceptance of whatever ideas are coming through your head, because you'll have that feedback group to be able to say, hey, that's a really bad idea, or that's a fantastic idea. You should try to do that. And everything that you give to that group is going to be brought back to you 10 times over. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to address some of the questions I've been receiving about the mastermind group. So one question was, how many people are going to be allowed into each group? And that is 6 people. Another question is how long is the group going to run for? The group right now, as planned, is going to run for 6 months. So if you want to be involved in this process, you have to be willing to commit to a 6-month time frame of being involved in this group. Okay. Another question is, how often are we going to meet? And that is once every 2 weeks we're going to meet. Another question is, where are we going to meet? Well, this is going to be done online. It's going to be a digital format. We're going to use Google Hangouts or Skype or some type of software to be able to meet with a video camera and microphone or cell phone, whatever it is, iPad. We'll figure that out whenever we find out from the people who are accepted in what is the most convenient mode of technology to be able to meet. What time are we going to meet? So we're going to be meeting primarily after 5 because most people are going to have their jobs during the day. That's not set in stone. We're going to poll the group to find out the best time available for each person. It's just going to be every other week. Okay, another question is how long are we going to meet for? That's a great question. It's probably going to be somewhere between an hour and 2 hours per session. That's what I would imagine. That's when I've been a part of groups. How long those sessions typically last. You always want to make it as value packed as possible, as short as possible, so that people can get on with their day. But at the same time, you also have to have it long enough for people to be able to be involved with. Okay, another question. Do I have to be a dental practice owner currently to be able to be a part of the mastermind? You don't have to be a dental practice owner right now to apply. Depending on who we have apply and the type of applicants we have, we may or may not require that. It just depends, to be honest with you. And I urge you to go ahead and apply. Go ahead and try to get in. We'll have an interview. I'll talk to you about it. And the worst thing that can happen is that we say that, okay, hey, we've got enough people to possibly launch a secondary group of people that are starting a practice but not currently in their own practice ownership yet. And if that's the case, we may start a second group. Maybe that might be in a few more months, but that would be something that could definitely be done. Do I have to have a successful practice? I'm assuming that means that they have a practice that's not doing very well right now. I'll be honest with you guys, that is actually a really, really, really good place to come from in a mastermind group, because you don't want just the people that are crushing it every day. You want some people that are having some of these hurdles to get past. And the reason is that those people have a different perspective. And that is the power of mastermind groups, is to have different perspectives from different people. One person who is being successful in one way, they may not even be sure of why they're successful. They just may have a lot of cash in the bank. The person that isn't being successful right now could potentially get some information from them. And whenever the successful person is giving the person that is not doing well that information, it will help them get some clarity. And so it's powerful on both ends. So there's no reason to be afraid to apply if your practice isn't doing well right now. Okay, another question. When does this session start? The session's going to start once we find 6 qualified applicants, and there's going to be a couple a week getting ready period, and once that happens, we'll be up and running. So it's really more of a whenever we find the right applicants, those first 6 people is whenever we will launch that group. Okay, so that's all the questions that I have in front of me now. So guys, if this sounds like something you could benefit from, and I know that it is, then you need to go to startyourdentalpractice.com/mastermind, MASTERMIND. That's startyourdentalpractice.com/mastermind to apply for the mastermind group. Now, again, I want to stress there is going to be an interview after you apply. We're going to ask you things like, are you ready to commit to meeting every 2 weeks? Are you ready to commit to being someone else's accountability partner? Are you ready to commit to being held accountable by somebody else? Are you ready to commit to getting towards the goals that you have in your practice and in your life, to be frank? So it's going to take a lot of guts to be able to apply. I realize that. So guys, if you want to be a part of this, we're really excited for you to be a part of it. We have a few hundred people listen to this podcast every single week. So I guarantee you these 6 spots, once we stop taking applications, are going to be filled up very, very quickly. So if you want to apply, I'm urging you guys, just go to startyourdentalpractice.com/mastermind, or you'll be able to text the word practice to 33444. That's practice to 33444 to be able to get a link sent to your phone to where you can apply as well. It's going to require you to enter in some of your information to be able to send to me, and then from that you'll be able to apply for an interview to be able to, so where we can talk about a little bit more about your situation, as well as any other questions you might have about the mastermind. So guys, have a great week. Thanks for joining me today, and I really hope to see an application coming in from you tomorrow. So that's it for today's episode, but that doesn't mean that the learning and implementation have to stop there. I've created a free report called The 15 Numbers That Will Make or Break Your Dental Practice. This report has been downloaded over 1,000 times by dental professionals. So if you want your free copy of this report that's going to outline what the most important numbers are in any dental practice, and it also includes how to look at your numbers, how to set goals, has a whole slew of really important information that is the culmination of all of my experience as a dental CPA, then just go to startyourdentalpractice.com/free gift. That is startyourdentalpractice.com/free gift. And so that's it for today, Ambitious Dentist. Again, I'm Jonathan Van Horn, CPA and ABV. I'll see you next week with another world-class practice owner or consultant that will help you start your very own dental practice. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Start Your Dental Practice community. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do me a favor and go to startyourdentalpractice.com/iTunes to leave your honest feedback and review on iTunes. It's going to help me create a better experience, a better show, a better podcast for you, the ambitious dentist. Your feedback really does help, regardless if you like the show today or not. If you didn't like the show, let me know, because it's going to help me create a better show and podcast for you. Lastly, if you know of anybody that would benefit from today's episode and today's content, today's guest, please feel free to share with them on social media or through email.